The brink of a European final. I can think of countless marvellous servants to the Teesside club, Colin Cooper included, who would never have believed an occasion such as this was even the remotest possibility. Here we are though, after that astonishing comeback against Basel, and 1,800 daydream believers have made the trip to roar Steve McLaren's side on in a highly intimidating atmosphere in what is Romania's national stadiums. The team's lining up now. And we're going to have a look at the Middlesbrough lineup first of all. Some big names are missing: Southgate, Mendieta, Riggott, Pogatet's among them. But the Borough boss is confident that these men can silence the Stour crowd. It's a massive night for teenager Matthew Bates, just 20 or 30 games behind him, but called upon to plant Ugo Ekihog in Gareth Southgate's absence. Another absentee, Mark Viduka, well, that makes the choice of strikers easy. The call for goals goes out to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Yakubu.
Well, this is a strong lineup with pace and power down the flanks. Borough will be looking for the partnership of Yakubu and Hasselbank, as you say, up front to grab that vital away goal. Lessons will have been learned surely from that 2-0 defeat in Basel in the quarter-finals, though a goalless draw might just suit both coaches. Key players are certainly missing from Borough, but confidence is very high.
As for Stour, well, they're said to reflect their youthful manager, Cosmin Oloroyu. He was a defender, and they don't give many goals away. The star performer is the midfield linchpin and captain, Mirel Rădoi, an international of the highest repute. And if goals do come, well, the men to look out for are Nicolae Dică and Banel Nicolita.
Well, once again, a very well-organised side face Borough tonight, who have slightly changed a winning formation from the quarter-finals. Dică up front, as you say, is a major threat, as is Goyan, who has scored 4 goals in Europe this season whilst playing at the back. This is a powerful team with an all-international outfield lineup, who have achieved some great results in the European competitions this year, with goals from all positions.
Extraordinary to think this is Stour's 17th tie in Europe this season. They were actually qualified for the Champions League. There is Matthew Bates. He had a birthday on Boxing Day. He was just 19. He couldn't have dreamt of an occasion like this. Yes, Stour got knocked out in the pre-qualifying for the Champions League by the Norwegian side Rosenborg, having overcome the Irish team Shelbourne before. As for Middlesbrough, well, the season just goes on and on and on. This is their 57th match in all, and they've played 23 cup ties already. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, can he do it again? 4 goals in the UEFA Cup already this season. And Terry, I know you said you've been here before, but the atmosphere, I think, is better than it was in your day.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's a lot more freedom here now, of course, but there is a lot of noise here, a lot of... it's a friendly atmosphere as well. It's not hostile as far as we're concerned. We're led to believe it might be, but it's not. It might get hostile for Middlesbrough, but surely they must have learned lessons from Basel, because things were going pretty well up until the final 2 or 3 minutes just before half-time, and then the whole world seemed to cave in on Borough. But they would have learnt the lesson from that, and they'll be looking for that goal, of course.
You got a shot there of the referee tonight. It's up to him to keep order. Alain Hammer from Luxembourg. There he is, and he's a top Champions League official most weeks. Steve McLaren. Well, what an end to the season it might be for him. How many finals can they win? Sven-Göran Eriksson here to see them home, perhaps. And a big smile on the face of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. 5 goals in his last 10 games. You hardly need reminding, it is so colourful. Middlesbrough in the all-red, Stour in the all-blue. And a fantastic noise around this stadium. You can hardly miss Frank Cadrew, the Frenchman there, who's got a huge bandage around his head. Every time we've seen Middlesbrough recently, some players ended up with a bandage around their head.
Yeah, but remember Pogatet in the last game against Basel. I mean, he had a horrendous blow. He's obviously missing for the rest of the season with that.
And Ekihog before that, and a huge night for Ugo Ekihog as well. 3 months ago he thought he was on his way back to West Bromwich Albion, where he began his career, but it was not to be, and here he is on the most important night of his footballing life, arguably.
Yeah, obviously Riggott suspended and Southgate not available through injury. That may be key for Borough as far as they're concerned, but with Bates and Ekihog, it's much an untried partnership at this level in terms of Europe, but they're big enough, they've played enough games for the first team, and they've got good experience around them.
Good solid challenge by Rockenbach, who really has come into his own in the last few weeks. I think even by his own admission, he didn't enjoy his first 6 months at the Riverside Stadium. He didn't look as though he was enjoying it, and then suddenly he got that goal against Chelsea. We were talking earlier to Colin Cooper about it, and it lifted his spirits, and he's since played admirably. It's going to be a bristling start, you feel, here, and important for Middlesbrough to see out this opening phase.
It certainly is. It's the chances. It looks a beautiful pitch as well for them to play on, and they'll be quite very pleased with that. But they've got to play it cagey. Like I said in the intro, 0-0 might just suit both coaches, although with Star as far as they're concerned. A 0-0, they do get great results away from home.
I don't think it would suit the fans, Terry. The home supporters always expect to see a goal or two, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not saying we're looking for a 0-0. I hope there certainly isn't going to be a 0-0. I certainly hope that Borough score, but it's cagey when it comes to these sort of matches, particularly in the semi-finals. It's more like a chess match.
The ball was clattered downfield by Schwarzer. Happily restored to the number 1 jersey now for Borough. And he'll be heading for a World Cup shortly with Australia. Hasselbank will break onto this one. Bides his time under the challenge there of Ogăraru. He almost trod on the ball. And immediate action from referee Hammer against Rockenbach. Is he going to yellow card him? Only in the 2nd minute of the match. I don't think he is, but I think it's going to be a stern lecture.
Yeah, just a little reminder on Diքը there, who's the star player for Stour from Rockenbach. As here he comes in now. Well, you can't quite see it, but there he goes away from the incident, having been spoken to by the referee. Diքը felt the impact of that. Expect a few little meaty challenges early on, but a comfortable one for the referee.
Well, we've got some height in this side, and there's another crunching challenge, this time from the Frenchman. Well, if you come away to a hostile atmosphere like this one, you've got to be up for it, and we expect meaty challenges. Free kick to be taken by Ogăraru. Every single one of these players internationals. And just about all Romanian as well, apart from the goalkeeper who plays for Congo. Well played by Cupa, playing a very withdrawn role there. And Middlesbrough will have their first free kick here for the foul on Rockenbach, who a year ago we were watching him play for Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, we certainly were, just being fouled there. Ogăraru again. But yes, we saw him play, and obviously that tempted Steve McLaren and Steve Gibson to go out and get him and take his services to the Riverside. And it's really been since that Chelsea match when he scored early on that he's really come to the fore.
Yakubu, strength and presence, but can't retain the possession. It's nicked up by Rockenbach now to Bates. Interesting to hear Steve McLaren say that he's every confidence in Matthew Bates. He's a sensible lad, he's an intelligent, bright player. And they've got a real plethora of good youngsters, haven't they? When you think that the likes of Catamol and Johnson and Kennedy are not even on the bench tonight. I know Catamol can't play, of course, but the other two could have done. Forward by Către. Yakubu being covered by the tallest defender back there. Ogăraru, who was loaned out last season to a club called Otulul Galati, but he's back here now, and Ekihog surely will steer this one back to Schwarzer. They shout and they whistle and they hoot here. I was here a couple of years ago with Liverpool, and it was quite an unnerving experience then, especially down on the touchline.
Well, I wasn't here, but my club Rangers many years ago were here, and there wasn't much noise from the crowd, just from the loudspeakers. They seem to play crowd noises through the loudspeakers just to get the atmosphere going, but there's no need for that tonight. It's a wonderful atmosphere. This is what semi-finals in Europe are all about.
It's a good stadium, even with the surrounds. The spectators are a long way from the pitch, but it is a good stadium. Rockenbach on to Către. Good shape about Middlesbrough these days, and again Steve McLaren positive, saying that at the moment they're playing with the wide man and scoring plenty of goals. They're confident.
I think with Yakubu and Hasselbank in the middle as well, if they put good crosses into the box, then they've got a right good chance of getting someone on the end of it.
There is Către looping the ball forward and getting on the outside as well, and he should get a cross away here. Către's ball in will be accepted by goalkeeper Carlos Alberto. He's the one who plays, as I said, for the Congo.
It was a good break down the left-hand side. The ball itself wasn't bad. He was stretching to make the cross. Two players on the far post. Couldn't quite get his foot round it. It's not a bad cross. Comfortable catch for Carlos, though.
This journey began for Middlesbrough way back in September in Greece at a place called Xanthi. And then they overcame Grasshopper of Zurich. Dnepropetrovsk. There's a decision against Borough here. Handball. one of the most impressive sides they took on, and that was AZ Alkmaar, a club that's figured in your past, Terry.
Yep, they went away to Holland and drew 0-0. They've had some pretty good results, Middlesbrough. They haven't played as many games as Stour have. Stour played 16 matches in the competition, well, in Europe, not in this competition, but in Europe.
I know you've just seen the text message instructions go through at the bottom of your screen. We always ask you to give us your views on the footballing topics of the moment, including this game, of course. All you have to do, text 888, followed by your name, your location, and your comments. We look forward to hearing from you and perhaps reporting what you've got to say at half-time. Către's ball in field, easily accepted and then driven forward by Rădoi. He's played 35 times for Romania now, Rădoi. Looking to hit a Prezentăm up there. Now Cupa. And he's steered the header down very well indeed, and there'll be a long-range shot here. And it's going to go wide. But encouraging stuff that. It was a beautifully delivered ball, and Morrison couldn't whack it into the net.
Yeah, there's the ball up, and good headed back down here by Cupa, and he's thinking about it here. Morrison, shall I take it on? He does take it on, doesn't quite hit it as well as he would like to. You've got to hit that one really across the keeper if you can, towards the far post. Hopefully that the dip would take it back in, but a tentative effort. But it's good to see him getting forward.
He scored a couple of excellent goals in last season's competition, James Morrison, one of the youngsters. And Steve McLaren actually fields the ball on the touchline. All the throw-ins taken by Ogăraru, who played in a recent World Cup qualifier for Romania against Holland, as many of these players did. Now the tall, lumbering figure of Guinea. No foul. Goal kick. Referee hammered not to be confused there as Diքը made the run. And I think Steve McLaren reasonably content with the opening minutes.
Yep, just taking a nice little swig from the bottle there. And I'm sure that if he gets a good result tonight, he'll be sampling something a bit stronger. I know we will, I tell you.
Speaking for yourself, of course, then. I hope you brought some lays. Looks as though it's going to be kept in by Downing, and I'm sure Sven-Göran Eriksson is here partly to look at Stuart Downing. There's still talk that he could, of course, get on the plane to Germany. He may have left it a little bit late now. He's had a stop-start season, the young left winger. But Sven always interested in the performances of someone like him.
It's nice to see 5 Englishmen playing for Borough as well tonight.
It is a good surface. That ball flew through to the goalkeeper. It looks as though it might have held up at one stage, but it didn't. It shows it's a good playing surface. I was at Highbury last night. That's a wonderful pitch. Always has been. Long looping ball, and Dickerson, and so was a Prezentăm. Fourth chance really. And Diքը goes down onto the deck.
Well, all it was really was just one speculative cross into the box. Middlesbrough not able to deal with it. Here comes the ball in. It goes to, it's headed up in the air here, and no one reacts to it. It comes back, and Diքը, little speculative little lob there. Ekiog couldn't quite get to him. If he just kept that down, that might have gone into the top corner. That was what he was trying to do, get it in that top corner. But no worrying signs then. Pleasing signs obviously there, but worrying signs from Middlesbrough point of view. That one harmless ball in the box did cause a bit of panic.
Rocking back for Borough, and a little deft header from Hasselbank down to Downing. They close down quickly to Stour, no doubt about that, and Hasselbank gets closed down so quickly his shin gets a good wrapping. An apology forthcoming from the offender Ogăraru, and a free kick for Borough.
I think Jimmy just felt that one there. I think he was thinking about the foul anyway. Just took his touch to the side, and I think he's just been raked there by the studs of Diքը, who's not afraid to put himself about, because he's on the receiving end of a rock and back tackle early on. And now he's the one that's making the tackle. Sampling a bit of revenge, I think.
Now with this bowl of a stadium and the track around the back of the goals, it looks a long way away, does this, for Rockenbach, but he'll loop it in there, and Cupa gets a header away, but it's a harmless header. Still getting used to the pace of the game, probably, and the pace of the surface. Pitches at home still varying a little bit at the moment. Some good, some not so good at all. It's amazing how many clubs have had problems with their surfaces this season.
And most of the clubs don't play their football or their reserve football at their home grounds, do they? So, yeah, there has been a problem. But this is a fantastic surface. It's a nice bit of grease on the surface now with the dew coming down. Beautiful conditions for football, and both teams just sizing up each other at the moment. No real opportunities. One shot from Diքը just over the bar, one from Downing just wide. So, honest, pretty even so far.
That was the coach, the very youthful manager as well. Ogăraru, just 36.
I can't believe that. He's 36 years of age as a coach. That's fantastic. And Stour in particular have been playing some good football. They've got some wonderful players, as you say, internationals. They keep the ball on the deck, they pass it well. They've got good width in the team. 2-4-4-2 systems shaping up nicely against each other.
Ball control here will let Ogăraru down.
I've just said how wonderful the teams are, and there's a bad bit of control on the touchline there, which is very rare.
Commentator's curse, we always call it. There have been some good young coaches down the years, of course. Graham Taylor started at about 26, didn't he, at Lincoln City?
Stevie Coppell as well.
There's a lapse. A giveaway of the ball, a rare giveaway by George Boateng. I just think he's absolutely critical to the Middlesbrough cause. And he'll be one of those harrying back now. Ball is blocked edge of the 18-yard area. Plenty of time for Parnaby to bring Borough clear. Oh, and that's another hack. That surely was a free kick. Yeah, referee Hammer takes his time, but that was a pretty ugly challenge, I felt, on Yakubu.
Well, you don't mind that as a centre-half. I'm not condoning rough challenges. Well, perhaps I am, really, because the ball was just inside the Middlesbrough half. Yakubu just comes towards the ball. It's one of those ones, I think he thinks, Goyen, the number 3, thinks I can win this one, and then Yakubu comes across and then Goyen thinks, no, I can't. I'll just bring the player down in case.
Yankee hug with the free kick, and what does he do? He puts it straight out of play. Not what Steve McLaren was wanting. The Middlesbrough manager, of course, took great praise for the way he changed things around against Basel in that amazing game up at the Riverside, when he threw all the strikers on. Macaroni and Hasselbank and Yakubu and Viduka are all out there at the end. Well, he can't call on Viduka tonight, but he can call on Macaroni again.
And of course there's Malcolm Christie as well.
Yeah, nice to see him back. He's had terrible time, hasn't he? A tortuous time over the last couple of years. Broken legs, broken foot, and made his comeback against Portsmouth 10 days ago. The danger cut out very nicely, but then the ball given back, and here's a long-range effort. Well, I fancy it's missed by some distance, really, but it's Rădoi, and it was a long-distance shy, which flew off the mark. He won't look 36 for very long.
No, it's well worth a pop, really, well worth a go. But like the Downing effort at the other end, it's well wide. Not going to trouble Schwarzer. But it's just been nip and tuck at the moment. There's no real pattern of play from either team. Possession given away pretty easily. I think if you look at both teams, they're really cancelling each other out.
Perhaps a typical semi-final. Of course, the other semi-final between Schalke of Germany and Seville of Spain. We've seen Seville this year playing Bolton Wanderers. For the Reebok. Boateng can't win the ball. Now they will try and move forward in unison, but they're being very well covered, and Către had got across there to do a marking job, and he did it very well too on Oprita. They look like a bit of a cat and mouse team to me, Stour. They toy with you and then just try and hit on a quick sniper's break.
Yeah, but they got good movement all around the pitch as well. Către there with the header, but he had to try and track Nicolae that was coming across from right to left. They've got good movement here. Borough are going to have to match the movement as well as they can, but both teams have got to try and keep the ball.
Clever ball from Rockenbach. It's invited Yakubu to dart onto the edge of the home penalty area, but when he lifts the ball there, straight in, it is to Rădoi. Bounce of the ball favoured Borough, but Downing can't put it into the path of anybody in a red shirt. It's a cagey contest.
Yes, it is cagey. I think when you get to the second leg in particular, then you know what's at stake. You know what happened in the first game therefore you can react accordingly, but you don't want to give anything away. You don't want to give away that crucial first goal, and both teams looking for that first goal, but no one wants to make the mistake, obviously, that's going to lead to the goal. So it is cat and mouse from both teams, really.
So we are in the National Stadium here in Bucharest. There's stadiums absolutely everywhere. The first 4 positions in the Romanian league are all occupied by Bucharest sides from the capital. Steaua in second spot at the moment, behind their old rivals Dinamo. Of course, they play Rapid in the quarter-final.
You just wonder as well, John, with the season the way that it's gone for Borough, with all those games that they played, and particularly over the weekend, the Easter weekend, what effect that might have later on in the match. But at the moment, they look pretty sharp, they look well organised at the back. Just that one cross early on that came in from the left-hand side, from Borough's right, that caused a few problems. So I think Steve McLaren will be pretty pleased with the way things have gone so far.
Yeah, and they've managed to slow the game down, which is what they look to do. Take the steam out of their side at home in front of their own fans. Downing whips between 2 defenders. The ball will break to Boateng. Akiog. On to Parnaby, whose father works on the coaching staff up at the Riverside. Well, they haven't hit in numbers, have they, Steaua, as yet? When they've broken, it's been singular breaks, relying on individuals. Maybe this time, as they concentrate the movement down the left with Bostina. Well defended again against.
Yeah, it's the first time he's really got free down that left-hand side.
Now there might be a long range up. That one could have gone absolutely anywhere, and it has gone out for a corner. Bates got his body on the line.
Well worth the shot there as the header comes out. Ogăraru with the shot. It's not a bad one. It may have dipped in front of Schwarzer, but Bates says, I'm going to head this one away and block it, and did a good job.
Yeah, well done, the young man from Stockton-on-Tees. Very much a local boy there. And really encouraging, as you said earlier, Terry, there are so many locals in the side with Parnaby, and there's a header. Oh, Dică just off, and I think there was a flag anyway for a push, but it was Dică who got it well. A warning.
Yeah, Borough just got to be careful really that they do mark well and mark better. I think on corners they've been a bit slacky, a lot of bodies in the box, and there was Dică going in towards the goal, coming out his marker. Not too sure who his marker was in that picture there, but his marker was well away from him. Free header, although the referee had seen a foul. I think probably a push by another player.
And 3 of the Borough substitutes are told to warm up for the first time. That's only just to loosen the muscles. Nothing sinister about that yet. There are no changes planned in personnel by Steve McLaren. That's a decent ball over the top, and well defended once again by Ekihog, who's relishing the experience, captaining the side here in a European semi-final. Lugo Ekihog. And a tremendous capture from Aston Villa for Middlesbrough over the years. So has Boateng.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out here. At the moment, Borough can't get out. In the last 5 minutes, they've really been heading long balls. Yakubu's not been winning them. It's been easy pickings for the Steaua defence, and Steaua just starting to turn a little bit of a screw.
They're the first Romanian side to reach a European semi-final since 1989-90 season, Dinamo. But of course they do have pedigree. They won the European Cup back in 1986 against Terry Venables' Barcelona. Bostina. Well dealt with Kadru, and a flashing header as well from Hasselbank to open the way for Yakubu, and then a driving run from Boateng. And it's Middlesbrough who've got 4 forward here, and maybe Yakubu can do something special. It is Yakubu. He lays the ball off for Downing in the outside left position, in the old vernacular, and then Rockenbach in here towards Hasselbank, and a good clearing header from the big fella at the back, Dione. Offside. No panic. That's the first bit of flowing football we've seen from one end of the field to the other in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, so Preacher here, there's a one that was offside. Very comfortable there. He's just not happy with that decision, but everybody had their hands up on this side. And he was miles offside, but wonderful play from Borough. The Steaua fans are pretty happy because they've seen really one movement from Borough that might have caused a few problems. But 4, 5, 6 passes there from Borough. They'll draw confidence from that, I'm sure.
Look how many blue shirts are behind the ball now. Every single one of them. That's why the fans are a little disconcerted at times, but they do have this reputation of being a very defensive-minded side. Stour.
Well, you've only got to look at Villarreal, the way that they've made great progress. They're not defensive by any means, but they do get people behind the ball. They have got a very good shape. Stour have got a very good shape as well, and they're very much used to each other.
Yeah, I think Greece winning the European Championships might have had a bit to do with this. That's the way they played, and others have copied them. And they emulate them. Decent clearing header, but it will drop to Boateng. Then Către. Downing stays out on the touchline. Then he'll drift in field. And he'll try and find his man Yakubu in there. Yakubu's been very well policed so far. It's a good word for this stadium. I think it's the army team, of course, Steaua Bucharest. The word Steaua means star in Romanian. I've been practicing that one, Terry. Don't know how your Romanian is. There's a whipped ball in and whipped out as well by Guinea.
My Romanian is not very good at all. In fact, it's non-existent, but it's all about football now. That's the language that they're speaking out there, and Borough have done pretty well so far.
Către trying to play the ball down the line and keep it in, but he couldn't. So Steaur's throw. It's funny, Romanian footballers have never had many headlines over the years, and yet they've played in 3 European Cup finals. I saw the one in Barcelona when they got absolutely hammered by Ruud Gullit and Marco van Basten, 4-0 AC Milan on that occasion. When the Steaua wore the worst strip I've ever seen in my life. It was claret with mauve numbers. Thank goodness for the blue and yellow.
Well, I mean, you have to admire Romanian football because they are a very powerful team. You don't want to have Romania drawn in your team. There's in your group. There's Steve McLaren. He's got his pen. He's going. Doesn't have time, of course, to make too many notes, I feel, so far in the game, because things have gone pretty well.
Yakubu. Steered back by Goyan. Amazing that Goyan, a defender, has got 4 goals this season. I think he must come up for the set pieces. Man, he's a big fella.
The 2 big centre halves are very strong. Guinea and Goyan, very strong, and but they're not too good with the ball at their feet.
Got through the Hasselbank, couldn't control it in flight. There were 2 around him. They are well organised. You can see straight away that Steaua are well organised. And thankfully, it's a nice night here. The last time we were here, it was raining the proverbial cats and dogs. It's a big, wide open stadium, but it does evoke plenty of noise. Free kick, Borough.
2 number 7s clashing there as Boateng. You see the strength he's got in there, like Makaleli just in front of his back 4, powerful, breaking up attacks and being very, very strong.
That ball's gone out before Downing cranes his neck to head it back in. Linesman on the side of the field, Jean-Philippe Izzo. What a good name, that, Mr. Izzo. Now Ogăraru. I don't think I've ever done a Romanian match before when there's not been a Dumitrescu playing. There always was a Dumitrescu, not now. Now they are pushing it around, but they've lost the possession, and Yakubu's on his way, and Borough have 4 up in attack here. Can they make this one count? It is Yakubu, and it's wide. Snaking wide of the uprights. That was a big opportunity.
I tell you what, if I was Morrison then, I'll go up to Yakubu and just smack him in the face and say, excuse me, I've made a run, I've made a 50-yard run to support you. I've gone on the outside of you. Yakubu picks it up here. He's running straight at Guinea. As Morrison on his right thinks about it, has a left foot shot, and apparently has taken a deflection, and Carlos there saying it hasn't, but the referee has given a corner. But he should have slipped Morrison on the right-hand side. That would have been 1-0 Borough, I'm sure.
Well, to be fair, I couldn't see a deflection there, but anyway, Mr. Hammer did, or one of his assistants did, and Borough have the corner. Can they make it count? It punched away by Carlos, only to Boateng. Another chance for the ball to be popped into the danger zone with 4 Borough men in there, and they've survived it. First real scare for the home team. Free kick against Middlesbrough. Already taken, referee says play on. That was quick thinking. Taking it forward. Here's Nicolae. Takes again. Nicolae here, and that's too high. Good return ball from Rădoi. Couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, the game is opening up here. Good, powerful play from both teams, and particularly from Middlesbrough. Then should have been 1-0, but there's the break. There's the 1-2. He has the shot. Can't keep it down. Schwarzer not tested, but end-to-end stuff, and at last the game has opened up. It was very cagey. Both sides having a look at each other for the first 25, 26 minutes, and all of a sudden we get chances at both ends.
Well, we're sitting right next to the director's box here in the National Stadium, and I swear the white feather leapt to his feet then. I thought it was going to be a goal, I think.
Well, it would have had to be something special to beat Schwarzer, but Cupa there's the man. He really should have done better when he was on the edge of the box and had a choice of Morrison, but his shot was still a poor shot, took a deflection.
Rockenbach will lose out in his midfield duel with Bostina. He's on the ball again now. Come in field from his left-sided duties, Bostina. The player on the ball this time is Paraskif. Well, they haven't caused Mark Schwarzer a single problem as yet. Nor will they now for a moment or two because of the Rockenbach. He twisted his head one way and played it the other, played the ball the other. Clever.
Must be like his countryman Ronaldinho with that pass. Fantastic.
Barnaby scored that goal in Stuttgart, I remember. Sure went down very well. They've had some good away performances this season, Borough. Drawing Zante, winning Zurich against Grasshopper, drawing Holland against Alkmaar, winning Stuttgart. Their only defeat, in fact, well, two defeats, the last two coming in Rome and Basel. Back by Dică. The chase on, and again it's showing how good the turf is. That ball sprang up for Schwarzer to boot it into the crowd.
But you can actually say that Middlesbrough silenced the crowd there, judging by that shot.
Looked like the old football referee Kevin Lynch. I swear it wasn't. I'm sure we're going to get some shots. I've seen one already of the owner of the club, Gigi Becali. He's a real character. More of him later when we do see him. But for the coach for the moment, studious concentration. Throw to come from Ogăraru. He angles it, and it's touched through. It's tickled into the area. Oh, it's a brilliant strike! An absolutely brilliant goal. Dică swung on it, whacked it into the top corner beyond Schwarzer's left hand, and that is a goal of a genuine striker.
Well, it's a wonderful finish. Steve McLaren not very pleased at all with the marking in that Middlesbrough defence. It's a long throw coming into the box, just helped towards the middle of the goal. The Borough marking wasn't very tight at all, allowing the striker to turn. Here comes a throw, which just helped into the box. There's Dică. It's marked, I think, by Boateng is the one. There's two Borough defenders behind him. There's Boateng. He can't see the ball. You can see it now, all right. It's in the back of the net because it's a wonderful turn. The writing has been on the wall before with Dică, with one cross in the box. Look at that. He couldn't put it in a better spot, really. Schwarzer got a cross, got a touch to it, but it's in the back of the net, and that's a hammer blow for Middlesbrough, really. Their first shot on target, the first time Schwarzer's been tested. And man, Dică, he's got the start that Stour wanted.
Yeah, why do they make themselves invisible when they've scored goals like that? No need to put your shirt over your head. It was a cracking strike, and it was reminiscent of the one he had earlier in the match, which I said at the time was a warning, because he turned then and got a shot away and had really no right to do.
Yeah, but Boateng was marking him. That's what I find disappointing from Middlesbrough's point of view, is that they had a midfield player marking a striker, really, in that sort of key area. And he allowed him to turn. I mean, when the cross came in early on in the match, and Dică just hooked the shot past the post, it was Ekiel that was marking. Ekiel wasn't tight enough in. But obviously they paid the penalty now of not giving the respect and getting tighter. And he's put it in the net and made Middlesbrough pay.
The danger to Borough now is it's really lifted the crowd. They're right behind their side. Similar to what happened in Basel, except we had to wait longer there. 41 minutes, I think it was, before the first goal went in on that night. And now we'll see how Borough respond themselves. Hasselbank to Downer. Opening up just a little bit for Rockenbach. Playing the ball around neatly here. They mustn't be rocked by that goal. If they are, they mustn't show they are. But it really was a vintage strike from a man in form.
Yeah, it just comes from a long throw. I mean, Steve McLaren must be absolutely raging inside. The first meaningful attack or for sortie into the box, really. I know we had the hook shot from Diքը just before, but the one real sort of, well, it wasn't really much of a danger. The throw-in was to the edge of the box. No marking there. Helped in towards the middle of the penalty box, and then bang, it's in the back of the net.
It did look, though, Terry, to me as that was a rehearsed one, because just the way he angled the throw, he knew exactly where he was putting it.
Yeah, but when the ball goes to the edge of the box, obviously the midfield player then sees that the striker is available and passes the ball into the box with ease, under no pressure. And obviously Diքը turns under no pressure and puts it in the back of the net. And you can see Middlesbrough giving the ball away. Ogăraru there, the coach, he'll be delighted. Doesn't show it at the moment, but he'll be delighted. Look, how easy is this to play the ball in? How easy is this for it to turn? And how easy is that for the ball in the back of the net? That's a wonderful turn. He hasn't done a lot to move the ball. He just took a touch to the side and then hit it.
It was crafty. And,
yes, you have to admit, it's clever play, but a poor defensive goal, and Steve McLaren will be raging.
Yeah, no Gareth Southgate, of course, tonight, and no Emmanuel Pogatetz. Hopefully Southgate will be fit for the second leg, and maybe fit for the weekend in that FA Cup semi-final. Another massive date for this football club. You can scarcely believe what's happening to them. That's a yellow card, and the one who's got it is Paraskif.
I don't think there was much in that. I think there was an intent to try and win the ball. Către just nicked the ball to the side, but the referee then saying, well, I'll let one or two tackles go. Către nicks it. He comes in. You see his foot is down. He's not really, his studs aren't up. Către has to go to the ground, and he's gone to the ground all right because he's delighted. And then he gets swamped by his teammates.
Well, I hear what you say, Terry, about the defending. I still think it was an excellent strike. And, well, they lead by it. Steaua Bucharest, and it's game on for Middlesbrough now. It's really important they don't concede again.
It certainly is. Sorry, John. I mean, you look at Basel when they conceded a goal. In 2 or 3 minutes, they conceded a second goal. Then they had a mountain to climb in the second half. Now, the game's still firmly in the balance. And Steve McLaren will be thinking to himself, look, it's 1-0. OK, I think we'll probably take 1-0 defeat before the game to take them back to the Riverside. But if we can get a goal, it does change the whole complexion. It doesn't matter where you get the goal. Ogăraru there, he's written down a few notes, I'm sure, but he'll be delighted with that goal.
Steaua Bucharest 1, Middlesbrough 0. And it's the 28th goal that Steaua have scored in Europe this season. Astonishing number. We were saying that they're basically a defensive side, but they've got their goals in Europe, I've no doubt about that. Well defended this time, and then he's come back, and they're quite willing to have a shot from anywhere, aren't they? It's always a good sign, and the one, as you can see, is Petre Marin. Full of confidence, willing to have a go, even if you're 30 yards out.
Yeah, Boateng just organising there. His head's down a little bit. He knows that he was marking Diքը when he scored. He knows he's got to get himself back in the game. Nicolae, he's featured well on the right-hand side, but Marin coming in, hitting the shot first time with his right foot. Schwarzer not troubled. Schwarzer's not really had anything to do in the game except pick the ball at the back of the net.
Here's the goal scorer, Diքը. I think it was Boateng who missed him earlier as well when Diքը got it for a header, a clear header. Unfortunately, there was a push, but George Boateng at the moment having to just concentrate on his game and get it right again. They're pressurising Borough right now, so Schwarzer hacks this one way to the right. It's slewed away off the outside of the boot. Sven-Göran Eriksson coming over. He must watch a game a day, I reckon, Sven. And it's a good moment for us to mention a special match, very special match coming up on 5. And that is a game between England legends and Germany legends, which is being played at the Medeski Stadium at Reading on Wednesday, May the 3rd. And that can be seen exclusively live on 5. The programme starts at 7:15. I believe Gaz is playing. I believe there's a certain John Barnes playing as well. Look forward to seeing him again. Chris Waddle. No Terry Butcher, I don't think, though. The old knees have gone a bit on the Terry.
Yeah, some great commentators that night as well. It's not us, because we're not there.
And from a German perspective, Lothar Matthäus is, amongst others.
Is it not Boris Becker that's the coach of the team or in charge of the team, of the German team?
Yeah, funnily enough, he was doing the interviews at Arsenal last night. He loves his football. There's that long throw again from Ogăraru. He's got an unusual style, hasn't he?
This is not quite from the same place, but they picked the man out again and kept possession. That's the name of the game from throw-ins, keep possession.
Can be a deadly weapon. I remember Ian Hutchinson at Chelsea, Andy Legg more recently, the man who's in the Guinness Book of Records for the longest throw-in. And Dave Challoner at Tranmere Rose, he could hurl it a million miles.
Well, you think of Bolton. Channel 5's covered Bolton in Europe. And Okocha has got a long throw. Gary Speed as well.
Hasselbank now. They're trying to hit back. Downing, first time ball in, but two defenders to cover. The best chance they created was the one that Yakubu spurned when he should have played James Morrison in. Now they're backpedaling, and quickly, and having to do as well. Plenty of impetus here, and a fortunate ricochet, fortunate for Berra anyway. Referee said play on, and they will play on here with the left-sided Bostina. Bostina recently brought into the international lineup by Romania, played against Ivory Coast and Nigeria. Yakubu, he's 1-on-2, and he's past the first man, and so typical that he's taken down there, and that ought to be a yellow card for Guinea. It ought to be. Is it going to be? Yes, it is.
Is it Goyen that's got booked there? I think that's his second bad one on Yakubu. Right on the halfway line again. He's beaten for pace there. He says, thanks very much. I'll take the booking because this means a free kick and we can regroup back in front of our penalty area. But so that's the problem that the two big centre-halves for Stour have, is if the ball's at their feet and Yakubu and Hasselbank are running at them very quickly. In the air, I think they'll dominate. But not on the ground. Yakubu just requiring a bit of treatment now.
So two Stour players booked, Goyan, as you rightly said, Terry, and Paraskif. And Yakubu needs treatment.
It's called a Charlie horse. As they say, all good physios would say, just run it off, son.
Footballing folklore. Some of the expressions are unbelievable. His expression is absolutely stony.
Yeah, who's 1-0 up here, you think? But no, Stour have done well. I think really that one effort from Yakubu with his left foot, so when he should have played in James Morrison, it's really all Middlesbrough have had. They've sort of, it's been a bit of a stalemate in the middle of the park in particular, but throughout the first half. But you have to say Stour have been the better team and have created the better chances.
So come on, Berra, let's have an equaliser before the break. Downing shows it and doesn't get beyond the lunging boots, the lunging tackle. Malcolm Christ is warming up at the moment, so is Massimo Maccarone. Now Downing, more time to supply, and it's not the greatest of crosses, it was very deep, didn't really involve anybody. Kudru's got a problem here.
Yep, it's Nicolae that's going to be booked for that challenge on Kudru. It was a heavy challenge, right on the touchline, and the referee played advantage then for Downing to whip the ball in towards the far post. It's Kudru up on his feet. There's the tackle. Look at that, look, how high does he want his boot to go there? Kudru felt that one. Look, here we go. Oh dear, oh dear.
As you said, not taking prisoners. 3 bookings. Mirror haven't had anything down the flanks as yet, not particularly, but there's a good ball in, and Yakubu, he's hit the bar. It's gone out for the corner. It's the first real flash of inspiration from Berra in the 6-yard area. It's got them going, and Yakubu muscled his way in here to be on the end of this cross from Boateng.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball in, and I think the defender, or was it Yakubu, just got the header down. Thankfully for Carlos, his point of view, it hits the bar. Yakubu's struggling here. I think he took another knock on his thigh. He is struggling, the big man.
He'd have claimed the goal, that is for sure, whoever it came off.
Well, that's the closest Borough have come, but there's a wonderful ball into the box from Boateng.
And it would have been a wonderful time to get a goal, wouldn't it? Just before the break. Anyway, Kudru's up for this. And he might get another header in here. He does. Frank Kudru. Borough have plenty around. The save is made. And what a disappointment it is that Morrison hasn't been able to squeeze the ball beyond Carlos. Big opportunity. And suddenly Borough have come alive. And you can hear the Borough fans making all the noise right now. Stowers have gone quiet for the minute. Hit one in, Rockenbach does do, it's blocked. Should come back again via, the mix-up, and now there are 4 blue shirts. They drive forward in unison. There's obvious danger here. Well, there was. Well played, Bates. Got across to make sure Nicolae didn't get across away.
Well, the game's got better the more it's gone on. Here's the header back across. It's blocked down there. It's a great shot in. Good save from the keeper. I think it was Guianea that got the clearance. That was a wonderful effort. And then, of course, down the other end, Bates has to concede the corner. And I think it was Nicolae's cross towards the far post. So end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, no shortage of entertainment now, Terry, after a quiet opening. Corner for Stour. Vital for Borough not to concede again. Schwarzer came and didn't get there. We've got to get this one away. Dicker's in there again, hustling. Broke for Bostina. And Dicker won't even get to this. Fortunately, they're a bit of a handful right now. Both sides have been the last few minutes.
They certainly have. It's just amazing when you put decent crosses into the box, because Stour certainly struggled with the Boateng cross. And Middlesbrough struggled a couple of times with crosses, and that corner coming in towards the box. Schwarzer came out for it, couldn't get it. They'll be happy there, the Stour crowd. Their team's up. Their team deservedly up, in my opinion, in the first half. But Borough certainly have got better the more the first half has progressed.
True, and I think that Steve McLaren will be encouraged to believe, on the evidence of the last few minutes, that they can get a goal here. Rockenbach with that nimble footwork of his. Nobody really to pass the ball to. It was a hit and hope pass.
He seems to have shrugged off that little knot. As I say, Steve McLaren will be pretty happy. He's scratching his head there, but I think he knows what he's doing and what he wants to do and what he wants to say at half-time. A couple of minutes away from half-time now.
Coming up to 5 years since he took over from Brian Robson at the Riverside. And, interesting to see Fabrizio Ravanelli amongst the spectators here tonight. Former Middlesbrough striker, of course, as well as Lazio and several other Italian sides, Juventus. He looks very lean and mean as well, Ravanelli.
In contrast to who, do you mean?
I wasn't looking at anybody. Stuart Downing with the throw. Tantalisingly close to an England World Cup call. There are a lot of players who are probably in that position, but I think Sven knows the majority of his squad without doubt, hoping that there are no more injuries like the one to Ledley King the other day, of course. 1 minute to be added. Thought there might have been a touch more than that, but anyway, it's long enough to get a goal, and it is Middlesbrough who are in the possession. With Frank Către. He played UEFA Cup football for his previous employers, Lens. So they're not rookies by any means, Middlesbrough, despite this being only their second adventure into Europe. Carnaby. Too long. Your overall thoughts, Terry Butcher, on the half?
Yeah, just the ball, it's just possession in the final third, really. The ball up to strikers and the wider players in particular. When they have played the ball out wide and got the ball back into the middle with Rockenbach and Boateng, they've managed to spread the play pretty well. But they haven't kept enough possession, I think. Middlesbrough haven't kept enough possession in Stour's half. And Stour that have been the more dominant and more comfortable. But having said that, you know, it's been a cagey game so far. I think that Middlesbrough will be agreed that they're probably 1-0 down. But having said that, Stour have had that bit of brilliance from Dică that has resulted in the only goal of the match so far, and do look pretty comfortable themselves.
That goal, though, has opened things up, and we're looking forward to the next 45 minutes as we head towards the half-time whistle. And Mr. Hammer has the whistle to his lips now, and that is it. So a single goal and a really excellent striker's goal from Nicolae Dică. He's fifth in the UEFA Cup this season. He's done to Middlesbrough what he did to Vålerenga and to Lens and to Heerenveen. And Dicke's strike is good enough to give Steaua Bucharest a single goal advantage over Middlesbrough at half-time, but don't despair. Middlesbrough, as we know, can hit back. They've done it before. Half-time score here in the National Stadium in Bucharest. Steaua 1, Middlesbrough 0. So that means that both sides will start the second half as they started the first, and indeed ended the first half. One goal then from Nicolae Dică, who's got 70 league goals in Romania. An 11-cap man for Romania. He came from a club called Argeș Pitești. I once went there with Nottingham Forest in Brian Clough's style. I think it was fair to say Cloughy didn't enjoy his time in Pitești, but Forest did. They won the match 3-0. Well, Middlesbrough ain't going to win this one 3-0, but I hate to say that they'd settle at the moment for the 1-0 scoreline, but that might be the case. So we're underway again. Morrison's touch back to George Boateng. Borough so far haven't been able to utilise the flanks particularly well, but here is a dash for the left-footed Downing, who will win a throw-in, not a corner. It's a sea of blue and red around here, the Steaua colours, and it's a very attractive stadium, I have to say. England played here many times, of course. I remember a goalless draw here a few years back. Well, we've seen the one goal so far tonight, and Hasselback's got a header through here. The ball cleared by Mirel Rădoi, who plays a sort of a defensive role in the centre of midfield, but every now and again he bobs up in good attacking positions as well. That must be a foul. Free kick Middlesbrough.
It was definitely a foul on Rockenbach. We actually heard the shout before the foul was given there. It's a definite push now. Chance for Middlesbrough to get the ball into the box as well. Rockenbach will deliver this one. Ekiog just lumbering forward. 4 men around the box for Middlesbrough.
And Rockenbach delivers. Fierce header away by Guinea. And an even fiercer hack at the ball to clear his lines. And as far as Parnaby, a fly kick over the head, and then Boateng misses it completely. That was almost like Monty Panesar losing that catch in India. Lost the flight of it completely. Rockenbach for Parnaby, who hasn't scored early in the second half of Borough this season. So that would be nice. A mouth-watering prospect for Steve McLaren and co. And the Steves, McLaren, Round and Harrison, will have had plenty to say in that dressing room.
Yep, I think Aaron Southgate was exactly right. Just stay calm, because there's no point going gung-ho and trying to get a goal back and losing a second goal. That would be probably fatal. But they've got to try and get a goal if they possibly can and stop a counter-attack like this.
Yeah, from Preta, and he's got to get all the way into the area, and Schwarzer stands on his line, not quite sure whether to come or not, and in the end he's got his hands on the ball, and gratefully so too. Well, that was real menace presented by Preta.
It certainly was. A breakdown here. And looking across to see where's Ekiog, when's he coming? Where is he coming? Now he goes towards the ball. Narrows the angle, comfortable save in the end for Schwarzer. It wasn't the best of balls across on his left foot, and then he's trying to pick out Dicker on the near post, but he's never going to do that, and Schwarzer did his job well.
It was almost as though Preta couldn't believe how much space he'd got, but he didn't appear to be the quickest either. Here they come again down the same flank with Bustina. He's figuring prominently with that left boot of his. This time Parnaby does get a sliding challenge away. And free kick here against Middlesbrough, against Boateng. And I wonder who those two chaps are.
Get that picture off pretty quickly.
I'll tell you what, Terry, I'm glad that the producer didn't take us up on that offer of stripping to the belly, you know, like those fans in the stands. And the crowd are roaring here, they can sense something on. There's a slashed shot which flew way over the top of the bar.
Ogăraru there just out on the sidelines. It's not a bad switch to play across here to the right back area. I think it's Ogăraru that comes forward, thinks about the shot, can't pick anybody out, has a shot. It's well worth a try there, because he's got the whole goal really there to aim at. Tries to slide in, Către comes across, Schwarzer says that's a comfortable save. Apart from the early cross towards the near post in the second half and the goal itself, Schwarzer's hardly touched the ball.
No, I think that's a fair comment. Diքը did have one chance before he scored, but he does look menacing. Still Barnaby with the throw for Middlesbrough, regular right back these days. McMahon, one of his challenges, out through injury, of course, at the moment. No Michael Reisiger these days at Berra, and there was a push then, so there'll be a free kick. A bit of discourse. I'm not quite sure whether they're speaking in Dutch or Romanian. Hasselbank and Paraskif. Well, the referee surely will award the free kick here. It was a bit of a lumbering challenge from Ogăraru. Biding his time, Bostina. I think he wanted to take that free kick more quickly, but referee Hammer got in his way somewhat. So they'll entrust it to Marin instead. No, they won't. They'll entrust it to Nicolae. So swinger, well headed away. Well, this could be interesting if Cupa could just latch onto this one. Well, Berra will latch onto it, and Yakubu's got a second nibble at the ball.
I think when the cross comes into the box, there's Bates that heads it away. It's a good, powerful header as well. He must be pretty pleased with the way he's settled into the game, Matthew Bates. But Borough need so much sturdiness at the back. They need a bit more going forward.
It was Bates, and it is a big squad, Middlesbrough, these days. We were talking about Gareth Southgate in the first half, and also Chris Riggott, who are good because they're talkers. We were just discussing the fact, Terry, that there perhaps aren't as many talkers in the game as there used to be.
I think there's none. I think there's hardly anybody in the game that talks now. Talk about the art of defending, heading balls clear and all this sort of stuff, but I mean, a vocal defender is worth a fortune these days.
Rădoi's hooked the ball down the flank. Well won by Către. Only as far, however, as Ogăraru. Prezentăm. Solid, I think, is the word for that challenge on Prezentăm.
I think it was a brilliant tackle. Well done, Matthew Bates. Tremendous skill. Just that he knows, Prezentăm knows he's overrun that ball and he's waiting for the challenge, and Bates didn't disappoint.
He was a perfect build for a centre-half, isn't he?
Yep, but he's got good feet as well. Gets about the pitch well, reads it, and he's improving all the time. Olaru out on the sidelines there, and I think he'll be saying to his team, just got to try and turn the screw a bit more, keep the ball. I think both coaches will say that they haven't kept the ball well enough.
Well, remember, Borough were 2 down at Basel, and they still got through to this round. Now they're building. There might be danger here. The one man in that area is the goal scorer, Dică. He'll get the corner.
Yeah, you sort of worry really when crosses come into the box. Well, in fact, it was a flattish cross to the edge of the box there. Has helped on, just like the goal in the first half. The ball to Dică. Ekiog's tighter this time. Why couldn't Ekiog have marked him for the goal? Because he gets tight here and eventually blocks the attempted left foot cross.
That's all a game of ifs and buts, isn't it? Corner from Bostina for Steaua Bucharest, who lead 1-0 here against Middlesbrough, valiantly into their first European semi-final after more than 120 years. Oh, it's a brilliant Schwarzer save. Absolutely top draw save. And it was that big centre-half who was up there. Why he's appealing, I do not know. We should just be patting Mark Schwarzer on the back for a fabulous stop.
Well, it was a wonderful save, wasn't it? There was the challenge, and what a save, what a tip over that is. He just gets his knee to the ball, doesn't matter what part of the body, but what a save from Schwarzer. It was Goyan as well, the defender who's got the 4 goals. Yeah, well, you can see why he scored the 4 goals. He's massive, isn't he? And what a save from Schwarzer, top draw.
Beware Middlesbrough here, a second consecutive corner for those in blue. Steaua Bucharest trying to hunt out the second goal. Schwarzer with the punch. Not quite the best, but Yakubu's managed to flick it a little further. Downing coming from left to right. Gives them some breathing space into the other half.
It's a sign of a good goalkeeper, isn't it, when he can produce a top draw save like that. Not had much to do in the game, but that was wonderful. And luckily for him as well, Schwarzer, that was right down his throat, and any more sort of a yard or 2 to the side, he might have struggled.
Well, I think Goose Hiddink would have been impressed, wouldn't he, the Australian coach for the World Cup finals. Schwarzer will be the number 1. Către. Plenty of time for Borough to get a goal here. Would quieten the home support. Barnaby. Nobody came to help him.
And I think when the ball goes out wide, then even to the left or to the right, we're looking at Downing, we're looking at Morrison, and this time it was Parnaby coming up on the right hand side just to get a ball in the box. Whether you turn the defender, just get good delivery. Now, can we get good delivery?
I'm sure Paris was holding his face there. I don't know what happened to him. Morrison back, and then Rockham back. Către. He's got it through to Hasselbank. I don't think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank has had one attempt on goal so far tonight. Cupa we saw hustling in there, and the ball flew up off, spun up to the crossbar. Boateng. That's the axis for Middlesbrough in the centre, the Boateng-Rockenbach partnership. Boateng trying to drive it in, but that's a curious pass from him. Comfortable clearance for Nicolae. Oh, and a giveaway of the ball by Parnaby. But not many blue shirts forward at the moment, but a miss by Parnaby, and there is an opportunity here for Nicolae. Second time he's got clear, checks, turns, swings it across, and surely that's going to go harmlessly out. Parnaby was dwelling on the ball.
He was, when he gave the ball away just inside the Stour half, and having to track back on Nicolae. There's a lovely ball in. We all know what he's going to do, and he does it well, but can he pick somebody out in the far post? No. Către's there marshalling things, able to let that go. Aprita couldn't get in there, and I think it was disappointment all round there from Stour's point of view, because that was a good break, and in the end of the day, if you can't pick anybody out with the cross, have a shot, get an effort on goal.
Romania a major disappointment for the local people, of course, not in the World Cup finals this time. So all the concentration is on their domestic competition and on this UEFA Cup now. Către's ball. Hasselbank tries to get in there, and it might still be something. It just didn't drop for Morrison. Boateng leaving a bit of magic, asking Către to deliver. Back it will come again for Cupa. Switching the play left to right. Parnaby touches it out to the wide position, and Downing didn't seem too sure about what he wanted to do there. Just to reconfirm that Paris and Nicolae, who were both cautioned in the first half, will miss the second leg at the Riverside, having accumulated too many bookings. So that's some encouragement for Middlesbrough.
Well, I have to say now that Middlesbrough got the bit between their teeth. They're the team going forward, they're the team in possession, they're the team that have been in Stour's half now for about 5 or 6 minutes quite comfortably. Although when they get the ball out wide, I'm just annoyed that they don't get decent crosses or any ball into the middle. From what we've seen so far, causes panic. Even though there's two big men, the two big centre halves are in the box, there's still panic because Cupa and Hasselbank are strong players.
Just a reminder that both Ogăraru and the captain Rădoi are also on a booking which would take them out of the second leg of the semi-final if they were to get one tonight. Also Către. That's for a little later, maybe. Flew in there, Bates. Have you got the ball?
I think you might have got a bit of that ball. The referee's given a free kick, but I think because he just took a bit of the ball, he doesn't get a yellow card.
Back with Carlos. We've hardly seen Carlos, to be fair. Arrived from Boa Vista just a couple of months ago. Now the undisputed number one. And number one is what Middlesbrough want to contain Stour to. One goal they've got. They don't want them to get a second one. Picked away rather ungainly by Hogg. And he wasn't hanging around. Către asking quite a bit though of Cupa, and it's a good solid header back from Goyan. Only recently made his debut, Goyan, for Romania against Nigeria. On the ball now. This is where Middlesbrough need to put a bit of purpose and pep into their movement forward. Cupa trying to slip his marker, Guinea. Hogg finds himself 1-on-2. Referee's wave play on here. It is Dică. Can they find this second goal, which would be a shuddering blow to Middlesbrough? They couldn't. And the ball has been stamped out of play. Sven-Göran Eriksson again, an interested observer. I suppose you pick up something, Terry, from every single game you go to. You are the same as a manager of Motherwell. You must go and watch a lot of football. Yeah,
you do. You try and pick up different sort of techniques and sometimes dead ball situations. You look at the way teams shape up. Do they change their system? Do they alter things around? And, to try and see European football or world football now, it's you have to appreciate that as well. And I think it's good to watch games no matter where they are. And sometimes getting to games and getting through cities to games is the problem.
Free kick, very quickly taken indeed by Dică. Got that one goal, then it's onto the left boot of Bostina. Always wants it on the left boot, and it's Akihog who slashes it away. Back by Rădoi. Ray Parler doing some stretching exercises on the touchline. Whether that's an indication he might be figuring soon. This is Dică. He's got a big chance here, and Schwarzer has salvaged what would have been a difficult moment for Borough here by foiling Dică with another terrific stop.
Well, luckily for Borough, Ogăraru is not showing much emotion there, but he knows this is a gilt-edged chance to really wrap the tie up if possible. Parnaby makes a horrific mistake here, tries to clear the ball, and Schwarzer's big, strong, stands up well, blocks it. Could that be the lifeline? Could that be the sort of blow that might just kickstart now Borough? Might they think, well, it could be our lucky tie, could be our lucky match. Maybe we can go down the other end and score.
Dică is the one who always looks as though he might get a goal, doesn't he, though? He's the predator.
Yeah, it was on his left foot. Thankfully for Borough, it was on his weaker foot. And we've seen Nicolae on the left-hand side in possession now. He's not particularly strong on his left foot. If he had been, he would have managed to get shots on target when he's gone past Parnaby.
Make no mistake, this is a severe test for Middlesbrough. They're one down, they might have been three down, but for Mark Schwarzer, who has made two high-class saves in this half.
Yeah, they have, but ironically, it's through Middlesbrough's best spell of the match.
It shows you can't afford to make a single slip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here comes Bostina, surrounded by red shirts, but that means there might be a gap somewhere else. And Dică pops that ball out to the right-hand touchline. He'll be back across in the centre, though a corner is won by Oprita.
Here's the chance, there's the mistake, and the finish is not a bad finish, I suppose. A comfortable save for the keeper to make, but you would think that Dick is saying to himself, my goodness, there it was, and look, he doesn't show any emotion, does he, Ogăraru? Look at that, look.
He's a defender, though, don't forget.
Just picks his nose.
I'm glad he mentioned that. Here's the corner. And it is away safely, and Yakubu should get to this one first. And serves his side well. Don't forget to let us have your text messages, please. We want to hear what you've got to say about everything that's happening in the world of football at the moment. The number is 888, and don't forget, give us your name, give us your location, and don't forget to tell us what you're thinking about things right now. That number again, 888 for the text messages. Neither manager's shown any emotion, to be fair. I suppose you've got to retain focus all the time.
Yeah, you have to try and be cool. I mean, there's one man here in the stadium tonight who's Mr. Ice Cool, that's Sven-Göran Eriksson, but all managers have their different traits. And we're covering Bolton, you saw Big Sam Allardyce, he couldn't really hide much of emotion. Steve McLaren does it pretty well, but you focused on the game, you have to. I think Steve McLaren now will be thinking about substitutions, probably something like Macaroni on the right-hand side for Morrison. Might be Christie up front as well. The problem is you don't want to really push too many men forward in case you do lose that killer second goal.
Okay. Just to follow that theme, I can't imagine Neil Warnock being too quiet on the touchlines of the English Premier League next season.
Yes, we shall look forward to Mr. Warnock in the Premiership. So surely is a character. There's Akihog getting tight. Look, he wants to change shirts straight away there during the match.
Ronaldinho did that the other night with Serginho, gave him his shirt at half-time. Here's Ray Parler. Not quite in the Ronaldinho class, but a very good solid pro over all those years at Highbury. And now to Barrett. There's danger now through the middle. They've got their people back already. Juggling with the ball is Oprita. You do sense they're capable of getting a second. Rădoi. Scuttling across Ogăraru. Once again Rădoi. Middlesbrough left Yakubu and Hasselbank up on halfway. No, don't let this fella have too much space. Dikę onto Către's head. Flying header. Good response. They're passing the ball better all of a sudden, Stour. Yeah, there you go. Just what we said.
Keep on saying that.
Yeah. Another note to be made, I think.
I think he's just about to consult with his coaches there to say, well, what do you think? There comes a time, just approaching the halfway mark of the second half, when you say, well, let's see if we can just change one or two things around to stimulate activity, see if we can, let's get the players G'd up.
Well, Massimo Maccarone was the talisman, wasn't he, with that last-minute goal against Basel? I think it'd be a big ask for Malcolm Christie, who's had so little football, to come into a match of this import. Ray Parlour. They need a goal, Borough, if they can get one. They'll just change the mood. And this is a dangerous mood at the moment. Dikę. He's always looking for the 1-2s around the edge of that area. Doesn't get it this time. It didn't come off for them. Oh, and a lazy giveaway of the ball there by Hasselbank, and a lazy shot, fortunately.
He seemed to wind himself up then and did a preacher. Look at that, but I know it's warm out here, but it's not that warm. A member of ZZ Top just behind him there in the Borough shirt.
Your vintage.
Yep, absolutely. When it's the Borough crowd there, not much to cheer about at the moment, but you never know. As you say, you're only 1 second away from scoring a goal, and I would be looking at possibly Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank there, just taking him off, just having a little look, maybe just changing things around, changing shape a little bit, pushing an extra man into midfield, and just leaving Yakubu up front, going 4-5-1, getting a bit more width, and just trying something a little bit different. It's just something that, you rely a little bit on luck sometimes when it comes to substitutions, but something may just stimulate it, because Stour at the moment, after a good 10-minute spell by Borough, they seem to have an iron grip on this match.
But it is still only 1-0. We all know what can happen at the Riverside. Can happen, unlikely to happen twice, but they're certainly capable of scoring goals there. They generally do. And they're in a very good seam of goal-scoring form at the moment, Borough. 50-50 altercation here, from which Bates claims the ball. And the whistle's gone, and it's a Borough free kick. Our director is trying to find the owner in there. The owner's a real character called Gigi Becali. He's a former shepherd who sold his land off for building, then did a deal with the army. He's now a multi-billionaire, I think, and he went off at the weekend over to Greece, to the Athos Mountains, to pray for divine intervention tonight. It's working so far, but only to the tune of 1 goal. Well, I do know that the people sending in the text messages, there have been many of them, and most of them are saying, why didn't he bring on Massimo Maccarone, the man who got that goal? And he scored again, didn't he, the other day? It looks like it's going to be Ray Parlour, though, but that's tactical, obviously. A coach knows what he's going to do, but I think Maccarone also has been told to take his top off, and he will be entering the fray any minute. So well done all those who texted. Steve McLaren was obviously listening.
I don't think he's got much time to read the text on the touchline, but he certainly knows there has to be a change, and we did indicate that. We felt that something had to be done to try and stimulate Borough a little bit, and tactically, I don't know if they're going to change the shape or system, we shall see, but 2 players coming on, it certainly does stir things up.
There is Maccarone, here is Parlour. Well, the crowd is never stopped making a lot of noise here tonight, and that's exactly what you would expect with the possibility of a Romanian side making it into a final. Calm headed down by Către. But again, I look back to those 2 saves from Mark Schwarzer, and how crucial might those be in the final analysis. Bit of water for Maccarone. We got a nice drink at half time. Was your water quite strong?
It was very strong.
That's what I thought.
It was very strong, very nice. And so I wonder if 1 or 2 Middlesbrough players might have been able to have some of that refreshment at half time. But we're going to see changes now, and I think it's important that Middlesbrough can, either keep it at 1-0 because Stour do look as though they might be able to score a second goal, or, as we all hope, they can just get that vital away goal. But even if it was to go to 1-1 for the second leg, then you still say Stour have got a good chance.
Yakubu's coming off for one. And I believe that James Morrison will be there. Thanks to our people down on the touchline for that information. So Yakubu not able to score again. He's got a couple of goals in the UEFA Cup against Dintre and Roma. That was a penalty kick. And he once got a hat-trick against Manchester United in the Champions League. And Ray Parlour, well, an old warhorse, if you like. Battle-hardened for Morrison.
Macaroni's gone to the right-hand side. That's right. That's exactly what we said. It's a different system, 4-5-1. Macaroni on the right. We've got Downing on the left, and the midfield three of Rockenbach, Boateng, and Parlour. Up front, Hasselbank on his own.
Parlour with the throw. Let's see if McLaren's changes can have as dramatic effect as they did against Basel in the second leg. This is the first leg, remember, of the semi-final. The final of this competition to be played in Eindhoven.
They actually took the trophy there, haven't they? UEFA have taken the trophy to Eindhoven. It's gone around the schools and the clubs, and it's been on display, I think, at Eindhoven Airport as well. That's a useless bit of information I picked up from UEFA.com.
Well done. Plug for them. May the 10th, that final. Let's hope Middlesbrough are in it. Against either Schalke or Seville, it doesn't really matter. They have dominated proceedings here, but without getting a killer blow in. That miss by Dikę, crucial at the moment to Middlesbrough's cause, but there's a free kick. And the coach has made a move.
That's the thing, sometimes you go out to the touchlines and then forget what you're going to say and have to beat a hasty retreat.
Spoken with knowledge, eh?
Absolutely.
Rădoi. Oh, and it's flicked off very handily here. Important ball to win, and Bates does win it. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been solid. He's had to defend pretty stiffly as well. It's just the case now with this new system of 4-5-1. When Borough break, they've got to pass it. They can't hit it long because there's three men marking Hasselbank up front.
There's three across in the centre, hoping for a cross, hoping for a decent cross. And Middlesbrough at that moment only have three to defend against them. And we've already seen that Diքը is pretty nifty in the air. So there'll be chances here, and we know that Goyan in particular, the tall centre-back who's got 4 goals in the UEFA competition, he's pretty handy too. Will Stour find a second? No, they won't. Not from... Oh, they might! A fumble by Schwarzer, and was there a free kick? There was not, I don't think, but there was a flag anyway. No, he's given the corner.
Well, you watch this, the ball comes out, Schwarzer's comfortable catch, but he clashes with Ekiog there, and I think it's hooked off the line there. I'm not too sure who that was. I think that might have been Bates, who hooks the ball away because Goyan was going to put that in the back of the net. There he is, he's disappointed, but he's there again in the box.
He's a handful, isn't he? And he'll be a handful again at this one now, and it's headed away by Către. 3 corners in a row for Stour Bucharest. All hands to the pump for Borough. Here it is once more. No
There's
foul.
the mix-up, and it was Bates as well. He had Mario just gets up. He thinks Goyan's missed a simple chance. He's going to give him a right rollicking, and now it's a corner.
Goodness me, he's even got Mr. Ogăraru to his feet. Corner Stour, 3 in a row, as I said, and Schwarzer wasn't allowed to get to that one either. It was taken away from his grasp. Maybe a lack of communication in there just at that moment. Well, there is a Stour man out of the play at the moment. We can have treatment now because the ball's been put away to touch. Ashtina is the injured party. Looks as though he's doing press-ups. He's not badly hurt. A little winded.
He just seemed to twist his ankle, didn't he? Just that. I'm sure he got a bit of cramp as well, but just seemed to twist his ankle because Stour haven't played for 10 days, have they? They've had great preparation for this match, whereas Middlesbrough have had a really hectic programme.
Hectic programme indeed, and well, football is hectic at this stage of the year. There are just so many matches, and just another reminder for you that on May the 3rd, on 5, you can watch the England legends play the German legends. And names like Lothar Matthäus, Chris Waddle, John Barnes, Paul Gascoigne, and many other star names, I'm sure, at the Medeski Stadium, and that's on 5 at 7:15. That one again on May the 3rd. Let's hope England win. As always.
Well, not as always, but yes, it would be nice.
No, I mean, as always, we want them to win against Germany.
Of course. There's the offside decision. Comfortable right in front of the linesman. But since this system has changed from Middlesbrough, and there's Schwarzer. Now, why is Schwarzer
time wasting
when they're 1-0 down? I mean, that's all the referee's got to do is just say, come on, speed up.
He'll have a word point in his Aussie twang. Lofted high. Hasselbank doesn't get to it. Well, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, of course, playing for a contract at the moment. So one or two players out there, it's always at this stage of the year that they start to fret a little, and some suddenly get better than they've been for much of the season. I wonder why that is.
Well, you said that, I didn't, but I think that's always the case. It is about contracts at the end of the season for players. That will be Bosman's, and looking forward to playing possibly for another club or getting a new contract. But I'm sure Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank won't be worried about that at the moment.
This will get through to Schwarzer again, who's a cool presence apart from that moment when he causes all a bit of a flutter. But it was down to Ekiog getting in his way. So as I said, I don't think there was great communication. Now then Boateng. Harried, so he'll have to put it back, and Middlesbrough are really penned in their own half right now. Macaroni's done well, he climbed well there, he was up against a much bigger man. That was almost a tired clearance from Goyan. Let's see if there's going to be a spring in the step for Middlesbrough. Steve McLaren's right on the touchline, urging his team forward. He wants them to get forward, he wants that away goal. And if they can't get it, he wants it to stay at 1-0. Dick has missed one very good chance. Schwartz has made two excellent stops, but it only takes a second. Who said that? On the ball, Oprita. Lovely. Beyond Către, and swings this one in. Be careful. Ably run away. Those are horrible, those. You can divert those into your own net.
Yeah, but it's all about a decent delivery into the box, wasn't it? Oprita made the run down the right-hand side and got the ball in the box, whereas in the first sort of start of the second half, Middlesbrough had opportunities to get the ball in the box and didn't test and put the Stour defence under pressure. But any crosses for both back fours has caused problems.
Kalosh with the left boot. Good flick from Dică, and he was offside. Well, it's getting to that time of night where Borough are looking at the clock, and Steve McLaren knows there ain't too long to go to hold out now.
You watch this. I wonder if we'll see this now. He just has a little bit of a contretemps there. I must get back in my area. Thank you very much. It's nice to see. Just straying outside the parameters there, Mr. McLaren.
It's crazy, isn't it, really?
You do get excited.
Yeah. I always thought it was nonsense when the coach wasn't allowed to coach from the touchline. You have them all week, and then you're not allowed to speak to them during the 90 minutes.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're out there right on the edge of your technical area and you're there for too long, you get told to go back in. But I can understand what they mean. But he needs to be out there encouraging his team, because Hasselbank on front in particular has been starved of service ever since Middlesbrough changed the system. They haven't been able to get their three-man working. Rockenbach is the one that's trying to link up with Hasselbank, but Downing and Macaroni have hardly touched the ball.
Well, you gave me a tip at half-time, Terry. You said it's going to be 1-0 this, and they're very happy for it to stay at 1-0, I reckon, now, because they've not really exerted any great influence on goalkeeper Carlos there in the second half. The only moment of alarm, really, to the home side was the moment where the ball spun off the crossbar, and once when Yakubu took the wrong option and should have played Morrison in. They've got a free kick here of the home side. Taking it rather too quickly, but Ekiog's clearing header drops rather handily for Nicolae. Very important minutes these for Middlesbrough. Oh, and a charge down there by Rădoi. They five forward here. Stour, it is Rădoi. He'll switch it. This is the chance. Nicolae lobbed it through, and well cleared. That was Bates again. Rockenbach, who's not been able to influence proceedings going forward for Borough tonight. Give away by Parnaby. Rădoi to the right back position. Ogăraru. Looking to move the ball around more swiftly here, Stour. And they've got only 2 for him to aim at here, but his trickery's got him through beyond Către. It doesn't come to Dică, but it is going to require an excellent piece of work from George Boateng there. How well did he do there?
George Boateng did very well, just held his position at the near post, but the cross had to come in the box there because there's 3 or 4 Stour players making good progress to get into the box on the end of the cross. Poor delivery, but well played George Boateng.
And well played Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, just beating his attacker away there to retain the possession. Parlour, first time we've mentioned him since he's come on. Hasselbank's reverse ball is picked up by Boateng. Downing, who's been anonymous in the second half, to be fair, he's had very little opportunity to get forward with the ball. But there are a few forward here now, but it's not Downing who gets it, it's Boština. Verret must funnel back sharply. The crowd is a swell in their roar every time the blue shirts get forward, as they do here now. It's touched into Dică. Well done, Eki Hogg. And well done, Parlour. Skips beyond the first challenge. Oh, but not so well done. Gives the ball back to Boština. Slipped into the danger area, 20 yards out. Into the wider position for Marin. Marin might try and get onto a 1-2. He's done it. It's Marin. Could it be 2? What a miss. What a miss. And how vital might that be for Berra? Not the finish of a natural goal scorer, it has to be said.
No, it certainly wasn't. The crowd there, they realise, Alario realises that they've been so close to the second goal. They've really threatened, and I think on balance of play possibly deserved the second goal. There's the 1-2. It's on his left foot. Doesn't really get himself in the right shape for it. There's the 1-2. There's the lovely reverse pass. Good touch here. Hit the target. If anything, he seemed to get in advance of the ball, and he's hitting the ball from behind him. But wonderful 1-2. Where's Eki Hogg? Where's Parnaby? And the ball, luckily for Middlesbrough, not in the back of their net.
Yeah, he shot at the right angle, didn't he? But couldn't find the vacant net. Ogăraru. Goalkeeper Carlos redundant there. Certainly interesting that the home side hasn't made a single substitution. You pointed out, or somebody pointed out to me, that they didn't even warm up the substitutes before the game. They're looking for the second here, which could be so crucial with Ogăraru involved. Here comes the cross, and that's Schwartz's. He'll take those all night. There we go. First substitution about to happen. Not long to go. Still menace there, isn't there? The passing is a little sweeter in the last couple of minutes from Steaua Bucharest. Oprita. He's fouled. Free kick here right on the edge. Good job he wasn't another yard in, and Către's unhappy about this one, but he seemed to take a breather out.
I think we're just starting to see the effects of the Easter programme and the heavy schedule that Middlesbrough are having. They can't get men up to support Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. You just see Către and Rockenbach just leaving the leg there, diving in. They're just dangling legs rather than working back, because I think we're just starting to see the effects of fatigue from Middlesbrough point of view.
Big moment this one. Middlesbrough a goal down. Mustn't go 2 down, as they did in Basel. Even though they did a Harry Houdini act on that occasion, they don't want to have to do it again. Top of the net. Never a doubt.
Lots of activity in that box. Steve McLaren coming to the edge of his box there. Schwarzer would have had it covered as well. He's a bit of a giant, is Schwarzer. Yes, he had it covered at the top corner there, I'm sure he did. Lots of activity. I think they would have been better served there, not far wide, with a decent ball into the box, and I think he knows that as well. If you're going to have a strike there, hit the target.
I don't think he'd be too exasperated, not at 1-0. And Stour will be only too aware that Middlesbrough have got this capacity for hitting back, especially on their own midden. That was a bit of a clumsy challenge, but he's all right. It was Rădoi. It was a 50-50 ball, and Bates hasn't complained. It'll be a free kick for Rădoi.
Well played, Bates, because he got up pretty quickly, didn't he? That could have been a nasty one there. There's the challenge. I think it was accidental, but in the end he could have made more of a meal of it. I'm sure a lot of other people on the continent would have done the same.
I think Matthew Bates and this man Mark Schwarzer might just be those 2 men of the match here. Macaroni again. He does climb well. That's the second time we've seen him get up. They're combining nicely this time, but Hasselbank slices the ball between the two defenders. Downing's first job is to keep it in. That he does, but the ball spins away to the benefit of Steaua Bucharest. Rădoi. Boateng there first. The battle of the two number 7s. Boateng and Aprita. Hugo Ekihog. We thought his career might be over not so long ago, Ekihog. The injuries he's had. Macaroni battling his way through. And Boateng is playing almost as an extra centre-back at the moment. Well, there's a lot of whistling around because the home fans want their team to be a bit more positive and further up the field. It's a good win of the ball by Ray Parler. It's broken to Macaroni. Macaroni goes for the goal. The goalkeeper's fluffed it, and Hasselbank won't get able to get in on time. Well, let's get told us something about Carlos, the goalkeeper. It looked like a routine stop.
Yeah, he didn't quite hit it well with his left foot here. Well played. There's a foul on Parler. Good advantage from the referee. Comes inside on his left foot. It gets a deflection. A little deflection just pops up in front of Carlos. Does well to get his body. He doesn't know where that ball's going to go. But what he does do, well, any good goalkeepers get his body behind the ball. And Borough, unlucky then the ball doesn't come out to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
There's going to be a substitution by Steaua Bucharest any second now. Florin Lovin. He's the player who's coming on. Not Lovin, unfortunately. A great man, no. That's going to go out of play harmlessly. So here is his chance. Florin Lovin, who's an under-21 international. Joined the side from FC Bacau recently. And the player going off is Paraskip. McLaren's still out there in his technical zone, urging the red shirts forward. So it's not been easy for them tonight, nor did they expect it to be against a redoubtable side. It gives everything for the coach. But it's the perfect scenario, really, for the second leg.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 1-0, yeah, they're still not a bad result away from home in Europe because they know that, it's make or break at the Riverside this time next week. So, after the last performance there against Basel, Steaua will be different opposition, totally different opposition to Basel, but they have it within their grasp. They have 90 minutes, at least 90 minutes, to get the tie back and to get through to the final.
Three minutes to go, plus the injury time, and number 3 is on the ground at the moment, Goyan. Wasn't a great deal wrong there with Rockenbach. Well, don't go away after the football because House is coming up at 9 o'clock on 5, and that's followed at 10 o'clock by Grey's Anatomy. So you've got to know your medical matters tonight on 5. That's at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock here on 5. For the moment, 3 very important minutes for Middlesbrough Football Club to negotiate in Bucharest against Steaua, the most famous club in this country. There will be a second substitution made by the home side. Krista, who's a striker, is about to enter the fray with 2 minutes to make an impression. Macaroni, can he make an impression? No, he can't. Doesn't even retain the ball. That's going to be a card. I'm wondering what colour it might be. It's yellow. It's against the chap who should have scored a bit ago, Marin. Well, they certainly had plenty of bookings.
I don't know what, there wasn't much wrong with that. I thought he won the ball pretty well, although his left leg did go in pretty high on Macaroni. It's a chance for Ekihog to get the ball forward, a chance for the substitution as well. But I think that he'd be quite happy in a way, in some respects, Steve McLaren, for the result. It could have been so worse as well if Steaua had taken the chances in the second half and if Schwarzer had made a couple of really good saves, then it would be worse.
So Krista, the 21-year-old striker, a recent addition to the Romanian national squad. He's just won 6 caps. He's coming on for Daniel Aprita. Steaua Bucharest 1, Middlesbrough 0. But the journey goes on apace for Middlesbrough Football Club and for Steve Gibson and Steve McLaren. No doubt about that. There's not been a great deal of conviction about Berra going forward in this second half. They've never really looked as though they'd get a goal. They've just got to keep trying plugging away, but this might be another card, might it? Macaroni is pushed away, and it is another card. It's for Ray Parlour.
I think there was a block there. Ray Parlour just trying to chase the ball down, and he just gets blocked in the way. Look, see, he just blocks him, and Ray Parlour just gets his arm out of the way and says, "Right, I'm trying to get through to this ball here, and you're getting in my way, and you're going to feel my elbow, unfortunately." But the referee deemed that to be dangerous play, yellow card.
There's that man Marin again as well, the opponent. But referees tend to start producing yellow cards at this stage of the night. I think they get a bit fed up, don't they? They're getting to the 90-minute mark, and they feel they've got to take action against people who've been regular offenders.
Ray Parlour's only just on the field.
Yeah, that's true. Nice journey home, 2 or 3 hours. 1-0. They will certainly believe that they can do it. 2 minutes will be added here in the National Stadium in Bucharest. Seen in many famous matches down the years. If Terry Butcher's played here, they must have been famous.
Not memorable, but we're here in 1985 and here in 81 as well, many years. So everything's changed now, but this Star team are a well-organised side. They make chances. They're not, what we'd say, that pretty to watch, as we've seen with many teams, but they're very effective. They're very strong. And it looks like tonight they're going to keep a clean sheet.
Again, they've kept plenty of those. Sheldon, Vålerenga, Lens, Sampdoria, Halmstad, Hertha Berlin, Real Betis and Rapid Bucharest all failed to score against them.
I think you've done a bit of work on this game, John.
Just for a change. Către loses the ball. The big light goes on the far side. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but as though they almost sense that there might be a second style goal to record. Oh, that's a horrible crunching challenge. Oh, interested to see this one. It's Boateng down, and there's an apology from the substitute. Lovin.
Oh, that was an unbelievable tackle there. God, blimey, took him that was waist high, that tackle there, and Boateng certainly felt that.
Yeah, he held his hands up straight away, but I'm afraid the deed had been done, the dastardly deed by Lovin. And if Ray Parlour was worth a booking, I think that one was.
Yeah, but Boateng's up and he's on his feet.
Well, can Berra find one last assault? They've never looked like scoring. I don't think so, anyway.
No, that's it.
That is it, indeed. Berra have tried their best here, but they've gone down by a single goal, and it was a real sniper strike before half-time from Nicolae Dică, who is now their top scorer, Stour in Europe this season with 5 goals. He might have had a couple to...